Is it already recording?
I don't think so. That's why we were waiting on you.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure.
I think we have it all set up now.
All right, I am going to call to order the regular meeting of the Glencoe Board of Trustees held at 7 p.m. on June 9th at Glencoe Town Hall. Roll call, Terry.
Here.
Skip.
Here.
Susan. Here. And Shauna is here. Number 3 is the consent agenda. Approval of minutes from the regular meeting held on May 12th, 2025. Approval of minutes from special meeting held on May 20th, 2025. Approval of general fund purchase orders, cemetery fund purchase orders, police fund purchase orders, meter fund purchase orders, municipal court purchase orders. Approval of hiring April Adams, CPA, for the fiscal year 25 general fund audit. Approval for the mayor to sign the street and alley agreement with Payne County. Approval of renewing the mutual cooperative agreement with Payne County. Approval of renewing the contract to Payne County Sheriff's Department for police services. Approval of renewing the jail service agreement for Payne County Sheriff's Department. Approval of annual fireworks permit for the Glencoe Fire Department. Approval of renewing OMAG 2526 Workman's Compensation Plan and applying the credit and or escrow funds to premium. And approval of the mayor signing the certificate and order to the Payne County Clerk and Treasurer. Any questions about any of those? Did you get a chance to look over all this?
Yes. I'm good.
So I will make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second it.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
And Shauna votes yes. Number 4 is a mute point. Number 5, public appearances, petitions, demonstrations, communications, or personal appearances. This is going to be on anything that is not an agenda item. Anything that's not an agenda item? All right, hearing none, we'll move on. Item 6, consideration, discussion, and possible action concerning approving the fiscal year 26 general fund budget. That was one that we managed to get budgeted all the way down to the last penny.
Yep.
Questions, comments, concerns?
Make a motion to approve. Second it.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
And Shauna votes yes. Consideration, discussion, and possible action concerning adoption of resolution number 7-2025 for the general fund budget for the fiscal year 26 for the town of Glencoe. Any questions on that? Then I will make a motion that we adopt resolution number 7-2025 for the general fund budget for the fiscal year 26 for the town of Glencoe.
Second it.
All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
And Shauna votes yes. Number 8, consideration, discussion, and possible action concerning the proposed abatement located at 118 South Oklahoma.
She's not gonna be here. It was tabled because they were supposed to find what kind of a payment plan they could afford. But they gathered the dump truck and he's starting to take it down. So I'm forwarding that information to you. If there's anything that you guys discuss that you want to relay to her, I'll do that. But he seems to be making progress on it. It's gonna be slow but steady.
I would like to see those continued progress. Then I say we maybe revisit again in 2 months, 3 months. What's the thought process?
2 months.
I mean, as long as we're seeing forward progress. I know that probably, the next couple of months when it's going to be incredibly hot, it's going to be much harder for
That
him
is
to be
gonna
on it.
affect him.
But I mean, I think as long as communication is there and progress is being made, I say we let him keep on keeping on.
August meeting?
I'm good with that.
Yeah, we'll look at it again in August.
Okay.
Make the.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we table the proposed abatement for 118 South Oklahoma to be placed on our August 2025 agenda.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
And Shawna votes yes. Number 9, consideration, discussion, and possible action concerning approving the purchase of fireworks from Firecracker Joe's paid from the firework committee account not to exceed $2,500.
I didn't see a quote for it, was there one?
He was struggling getting a quote. It's really hard with them because they are a retail provider.
Yeah.
So what they may send on a quote today, they may sell out of tomorrow. But they're really good about if you say I have $2,500 that I'm budgeted to build this very adequate package for $2,500.
And if we go over, like last year, we went over like $25, they just wrote it off. But they'll make adjustments. The $2,500 I've already told them is my limit.
And that's what we had previously discussed. It just wasn't worded correctly in the motion last month whenever we talked about. Questions, comments?
No. I'm not motion to approve it.
I'll second it. Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Abstain.
Shawna votes yes. Number 10, consideration, discussion, and possible action approving fee schedule for controlled burns and filling swimming pools via the Glencoe Fire Department to be deposited in general fund. I know that there were a ton of questions, and this one was incredibly misleading, how it has to be posted on the agenda. Where's CA at? CA and I discussed this, and he is fully on board with this, being that it's going to be earmarked on the side of fireworks. It's not just going to town general, it is going to the fireworks portion. Do you want to add anything on that, CA? So fee schedule, just wrote down controlled burn, $100 per truck per hour. And then pool filling, $50 per load, plus the cost of water. Is that adequate? Do you feel like it needs to be more or less?
For the most part, that would probably be fine, but when you get called for swimming pools like, by Cushing or something like that, then you got a little more fuel prep.
So
So we
mileage,
might want to put a mileage on that,
Okay,
within so many miles. If it's within our district, I'd say that'd be fine.
so what about we did $50 per load within district?
There you go.
And what would you propose for
What's
out of
the-
district?
What's the state pay for mileage?
70.
70?
No, I don't think.
Well,
we
I
can
mean-
buy it.
It really, by the time that's gonna add another $25, depending on where you're at in Cushing. I really don't feel like that's horrible in doing them the service of filling a pool outside of our jurisdiction, but.
Yeah, that'd be all right. It definitely needs to be a little higher.
So do you want to say pool filling is $50 per load plus cost of water for inside fire district, $50 per load plus the cost of water, and state or federal reimbursement travel rate for outside of fire district?
Is that one way or is that two ways? How do they, I don't
Mileage per mile.
70 cents per mile.
I'd say both ways.
know. Well, I've seen
Well,
there
that-
one way.
Yeah.
It's 10 miles there, you're paying 20 miles. That's what I'd say, because you burn fuel both directions.
Some people listed their, the price and it's one way. Or that's what I was asking was, is that a one-way set?
What's y'all's thought? I mean, that's,
No, that's fine. I was just curious whether that.
I mean, you need to cover the cost, that's my thing.
With $50 and 75 cents a mile, I mean, I would think. You go to all the rate once.
Well, I think we keep it at the federal reimbursement rate per mile, because it's only gonna go up from here, but
And that's something everybody's used to, that they know, and so,
Yeah, that's some government.
Yeah, prices of fuel so cheap down. That'd probably be the safe way to do it.
So the 50 outside of the fire district, $50 per load plus 70 cents per mile.
Yep.
And the cost of water.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. So a lot of this time, the control burns in the water used to go into the auxiliary, for the auxiliary to spend it however they need to.
Yes.
So since the bulk of this money of what they usually use to have spending money, how are they gonna be able to run the auxiliary with all this money? Or can they come and ask, hey, we need money for such and such event, earmark it back out, or you put it back in the auxiliary?
well, when you're using taxpayer-funded vehicles, running on taxpayer, fuel, covered by taxpayer insurance, it's gotta go into the general fund.
But the problem, not the general fund.
Well, it can be,
Correct.
yeah, I mean, it can be earmarked for,
But the thing of it is what if they need to go do stuff where you can't call the town and order a PO and that kind of stuff?
That's where the auxiliary is going to have to create either a nonprofit or a business out of it. Currently, if I understand correctly, the account is set up as a personal account.
Right,
We-
so if
that's-
they set up the correct time, are they able to take any of this money for control burning water, put it back in their account?
No,
Use it as they need to?
So they're gonna do it all for free?
well,
It's volunteer.
not necessarily. The part of that is like if the auxiliary receives a donation from Joe Brown for $100 and they are a nonprofit organization, then the auxiliary can keep those donations. But if you're providing a service, that fee has to go to the town.
So what if they can't pay as much as you want to pay, then they don't do it, or?
I mean, that's like conversation with CA before. Some of that can be chalked up to training. There have always been certain circumstances, retired firefighters, firefighter families, if you do a controlled burn, you're not gonna charge them for it. But you've also got all of these men and women in here that can always use an extra couple of hours of training, that can be chalked up for.
That's really the only way you get the hours of training that ISO requires to maintain the insurance level that you have. Being volunteer, you have to get every straw of training you can.
Absolutely.
And it's a multi-deal, so if you put gear on, when you're going out there to do it, you're getting training for putting gear on. And you're getting hose strings training, you're getting driver training for driving the trucks. That's the only way that the small town can get the hours that's required.
But my question is, if you tell them it's gonna be $300 and they can't pay $300, are you still gonna do it as a donation, or is it gonna be, you're not gonna do it at all? You gonna tell people no?
well, I mean, it can't be a donation. If you're using taxpayer equipment, taxpayer fuel, it can't be a donation to a private organization.
So it's cut and dried, either they
Yeah.
pay the amount that you want them to pay, or you won't do it at
Well,
all.
I mean, you can, it's up to the city and up to the councilors if they want to do it for a lesser amount. But I'm just saying, whatever is paid has to be paid to the town.
So does that mean y'all bill them for that? And if they can't pay it, then they call up here and say, hey, I can't pay the $750 that it's gonna take?
It'd be like paying water bill.
we're not taking any money.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, I'm just saying, say y'all come to my 20 acres, there's 5 trucks. It's $500, $600, $700, when I'm used to paying $250. But I call up here and say, hey, I can't pay, some little old lady who needs to have it done says, hey, I can't pay it, but I'm used to paying $250, will you take that?
Well, I think that there also has to be some ground of common sense on it. My understanding of being on the fire department, I know that a 20-acre fire isn't gonna take 5 trucks. They may take 5 trucks because that's what they have the personnel to train with, but there also is gonna be that trust in the fire department that it's suggested appropriately.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying, you send 5 trucks and you have it.
I mean, you
And
can,
then you see it, you see it in black and white, and then somebody's thinking, well, crap, what if I have to pay $750 when I'm thinking it's $250? I mean, are they gonna know on there? It's just, we've always done it as a donation. And so there's so many people with the thoughts of it, that I think it's gonna take a little bit of time to get everybody's head wrapped around this action.
Well, and I think that that's just gonna be the communication between the board and CA in knowing, this 20-acre fire, in reality, I could get it done with one truck for 2 hours. So that's a 2-hour service. You may take 5 trucks and chalk the other 4 trucks for 2 hours into training and bill 2 hours. I mean, CA, do you have any input, thoughts?
So that's what I would recommend, because, ultimately, anytime we do a control burn, we try to take as many apparatus as we can with as much personnel as we can, just so they can get the time behind the wheel, get the time ready off, and get training and stuff like that. But in reality of things, you may have like 10 brush piles. And if you got the personnel to put in trucks, you take the trucks so that you get them out and drive them and mess with them and everything else. But then you can back up and say, okay, in reality, we could have covered this for, with one truck, 2 hours. You just say then build, and then that's what we would build for. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No, absolutely.
That's good.
Basically,
That's kind of what I was thinking, be a little flexible with it that way, in that sense, and we just gotta be honest about what we do and what we learn, what actually do.
Yeah. Well, and I would like to give whoever it is, Joe Brown, a quote whenever they call up and say, hey, I want to do a controlled burn.
Yeah.
I got 40 acres. What's it look like? I don't want to quote them, $100. Oh, we can get it done for $100. I mean, it's got to be a reasonable quote. But again, that way they have an idea beforehand of, hey, this is what it's going to take. And they can make a decision before the burn's done. Yeah, I want to do it. Or if CA chalks up and says, hey, I want to do it as training.
You've been part of them enough to know, you've got a lot of stuff that you got to back burn around, that takes time, it takes apparatus to do that. If you got, tall grass all the way up to the fence line and it's a total nightmare on the other side of the fence, that takes time, that takes a lot of apparatus. So stuff like that, that's why we try to go look at them before we commit to burning them anyway. Because of that. Because if you get into something that's going to get in way over your head, I can do that with 2 trucks or 1 truck, So, I think the best solution to that would just be continue to go out and look for burns before we commit, and then we give them an estimate of what we feel like it would take, and then go from there. If you guys are good with that.
I mean, I think that's the only way to do it, really.
Yeah, I think that'd be smart.
And then if you want to take extra trucks for training,
Right.
fine, but it won't be charged to the
Right.
landowner.
Right.
And if they can't pay them out right away, can they just make payments?
I don't see one.
I mean, I don't see an issue with that. I mean,
You can establish a system that might have some kinks that we might need to work out, but we work with people on their water bills all the
Yeah,
time.
I mean, that's,
I don't see any difference. Especially with control burns, that's something that's pretty important when it comes to vegetation. So I don't see why not.
yes, ma'am.
So if the fire department and the auxiliary decide to do a dump tank to raise funds or say they want to put together a calendar, that money can go into the auxiliary, can it not?
Correct. But I will express the use of caution that they need to get a 503C or whatever it is. I mean, it's vital. Any other questions, comments, concerns on that? Anything from you guys? All right, I'm going to make a motion that we approve the Glencoe Fire Department fee schedule for control burns and pool fillings, being controlled burns at $100 per hour per truck as necessity. Additional trucks for training will not be charged. Pool fillings at $50 per load plus cost of water in town, $50 per load plus cost of water, plus statutory reimbursement per mile outside of Glencoe Fire District. Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Abstain.
And Shawna votes yes. Consideration, discussion, and possible action concerning donated boot money that will be collected at the 2025 Glencoe fireworks show. That's, same, it'll go to the same firework account that it's gone to for years. Question that I was asked was, where does that money go that night? And who is responsible for it and what gets done with it?
Generally, it goes to the office, it's locked up in the office until the next day, then it goes to the bank.
Is that still an adequate way around it, or does it need to be a town employee that collects it, or trustee? And
No, I don't think it has to be a town, because again, that's not really involving, town property, town insurance, anything like that. That's more of just a donation.
well, yes and no. It's so how that process works is they have the fireworks show
Right,
at the park. They
right.
collect money at the park
Yeah,
for an event that the town has to insure
right.
and pay for.
And that's not for that event, that's just a donation.
Yes.
It's just,
So we're putting on the fireworks show no matter what,
yeah.
it's just a
Basically,
donation,
entry fee.
so that shouldn't be
I
an issue.
think it's on it.
Okay, so then, however you guys want to go about it, leave it at yes.
So, I know how the boot deal is. Been there, done that, donated. It's basically like an entry fee.
Mhm.
Why does the boot money, in order to have a trail for that, why isn't it donated into the auxiliary, and then the auxiliary writes the check?
That's what they were just talking
Well-
about, it doesn't have to go into the general fund, it can still go to the auxiliary, it's the town road, it's being used,
No.
so it's gonna stay the same.
No.
No, it was passed several years ago. Do you remember when it was passed that it started to go, again, to the town, and it goes into the firework
It goes in
account?
that fireworks account.
Oh, wow, okay.
That's been that way for
Because see, I
years.
thought when it still went into the auxiliary account, and it stayed there, so that way we can provide concessions and whatever we needed for the fundraisers to raise money for the fireworks show throughout the year.
No, ultimately, we use that money yearly to help pay for fireworks.
It does, but it goes in the auxiliary account so we can use it, so we can raise more money to kind of use that in order to purchase the concession stand.
It was changed a few years ago to where that boot money does not go to the auxiliary fire department. It goes straight to the town's account that's earmarked the fireworks account. So we don't get any of that. Fire department does not.
And that was done 3-4 years, it was done before I got
It
on.
was done before I got here, yeah.
So, I just feel like y'all are taking everything that y'all actually used to have to put in the auxiliary to raise money to do for concessions and stuff. I feel like y'all are taking all of that and putting it directly into the fireworks show, the fireworks account, but yet not giving them any leeway to use to purchase anything for concession or for any kind of,
Well, part of it is we've increased significantly over the years the cost that we have spent on fireworks.
as always.
We're at $18,000 this year on fireworks. And that money's gotta come from somewhere.
Right, but that's what I thought they got to use that boot money to have 3 or 4 or 5 fundraisers throughout the year, so they could attribute that.
I think some of that was whenever fundraisers were profitable.
But you know what? They need to that's a whole different issue. You and I know, I was an auxiliary president, we made money.
Yeah.
We made a lot of money on it. So, I completely agree. But it's also, at some point, they have to have some kind of kitty money in there so they can use it to come up with more fireworks.
Well, it's like right now, they have 3,000-4,000 in that account. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess you don't have to divulge it because it's a personal account now, but if there's
It's just under 4.
if there's $4,000 in there, that should be enough to do a concession stand. I mean,
I just wasn't privileged to the information of the amount of money that's in the account.
Yeah.
It's just, it just seems like everything's getting taken away from them. So I'm was curious why everything that they used to do is getting taken away from them.
again, I'm not sure why the boot money changed over. I wasn't on the board when that happened.
Well,
Originally, that all came about because the cost of fireworks went up every year significantly. And the town didn't have the tax dollar or whatever it is in their general fund to cover the cost. So the fireworks account was created, and it's something that John and I talked about, and we decided that we would take the boot money and put it in that fireworks account. And that way that account would be building throughout the year to help substitute with the town and the auxiliary, because the auxiliary was taking a big chunk of putting it towards fireworks as well. So our thought was we could get that fireworks account built big enough throughout the year, that the auxiliary wouldn't have to put any of their money on actual fireworks. See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it would help the town and help the fire department and so on and so forth. That was the whole thought behind that fireworks account. And that's what we've been working on ever since I became fire chief, was trying to get that account built up more and more every year. So it would help, and next year's gonna be even worse because, next year's gonna be facing terrorists. We got lucky this year. They had fireworks and stuff in storage buildings and everything else, and may not have that luxury next year. So there ain't no telling what the fireworks show is going to cost next year. So the way I see it, the more money we can get to pay for it, the better off we'll be.
Any questions, comments, concerns from the board? Do you want to make any change or do you want to leave it as is?
As is.
Is that your motion?
I make a motion, we just leave the item 11, we leave the boot money as it had been for years.
I'll second it. Motion has been made and seconded. Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Abstain.
Shawna votes yes. Number 12, consideration, discussion, possible action on the open records request from John Q. Citizen from April 18th, 2025. I think that really the last thing that we're still missing, Alyssa, tell me if I'm wrong, is the statements from 21 through, well, I guess we have them through June of 24.
Yeah, 2025 thus far. Yeah, I sent over the statements that were provided with the statute that was given to me, and he's pushing forward with a lawsuit against the town, and provided you guys this letter, and so I just need it on record why they're not being provided, so that the town can cover what they need to, because this isn't something I was able to provide, so you guys are now aware of it.
Is it possible that we can get those documents, CA?
I don't think so.
Okay, so what do we need in that event if he's,
Like a signed, it says at
Refusing.
the end of the letter, a signed sworn statement of denial with reasons on the first records request, and they are working on the next round, in which is gonna be a bit longer than the last, so they just want a signed sworn statement. Yes, I don't, signed by the chief, I imagine, because it was subject to open records. We'd already established that with the OSBI, so. I don't know what the next step is.
So OSBI did say that those were public records.
Yeah, Linda had said that because they use taxpayer equipment and that money goes into the account, that it's subject to open records.
well, and I understood that you can't pick and choose which of those you're gonna get, because we
Right.
received
Yeah.
June of 24 through
June 24 to March of
March
25.
of 25, but they've requested all of 21, 22, 23.
But we had the control burns going in there at that time, correct?
Yes.
You see, so that would be public money. So that probably would make it subject to the open records.
So we just need CA to do a signed sworn statement as he's denying the records?
Linda also said that with the internal audit that we did, that she was fine, and so was the ex-fire chief, the assistant fire chief, and CA were all the ones that decided on what the ones that they were gonna do. That it all went back to that right there.
I understand,
The
but
OSBI said that she was fine with it, and you also said in the meeting that you had with CA that you were gonna have them, everything that she requested, you were gonna have them write down so that it wasn't hearsay.
and the statements was the other thing of them. And with that being said, OSBI's questions, investigations, what they want, need, is completely different from what this other requester is requesting. And just because things were provided to OSBI does not mean that you can deny them to the requester.
Okay.
I mean, am I correct on that?
That's correct.
Yes, James.
So I have a legitimate just question and concern here. So we're talking about open records and all of that. So here's my question is, number one, how many open records requests has OSBI ever handled? Number one. Number two, how familiar are they with the law on open records? Number three, they're not a judge to say whether or not it is subject to open record. That's only for a judge. You can ask 12 different attorneys and get 14 different opinions, and it's up to the judge to decide whether or not it's open record, not OSBI or the law enforcement agency.
Did you have something?
Or am I wrong in thinking that? Is there something wrong in my thinking?
Well, I mean, if it's public money that goes into the account, it is subject to open records.
Well, yeah, and
Okay.
I understand.
And that's
that,
why I think
but-
tonight, why we made the burns, the controlled burns paid in, because that way it doesn't go to the auxiliary, and therefore the money in the auxiliary, at least moving forward, won't be public money,
Yeah.
and therefore it won't be subject to open records.
Yeah.
But right now, because those controlled burns went in there before, I think it is public record. I think it is public money.
Well, and that's
And
the thing
therefore-
though, is you're saying too, and I understand you're an attorney, you think, so that's your opinion, right? You can ask.
Well, it just
attorneys
says
and
if there's
14
any
different
money that goes
opinions,
into an account,
and it ultimately goes to a judge to decide, correct? So my question is, because OSBI's name keeps getting brought up in this, like it's a big deal, almost like, I have no dog in this fight, but almost like it's being used as a threat at this point. But OSBI as a law enforcement agency, they're not an interpreter of the law. That's what the judges in the state are for. Am I not correct?
they interpret the law quite a bit, because I mean, they have
Well-
to as part of their job.
Well, they can give their assumption on it, say as an attorney, but ultimately the judge is the one who decides, because if they arrest me for crime A, B, or C, they don't decide whether or not I sit in prison. That's
Well,
the
that's
judge
correct.
that decides that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's,
So they don't actually
But
interpret
we
the
would
law.
like
So
to
they-
get,
They can give their opinion all day, and it's just
Yeah.
an opinion. Am I not correct?
no,
my
that's
question.
correct.
Okay.
But
That's what I was wondering.
but
I understand where you're coming
if
from.
we get sued and you pay attorney fees,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and
Oh, I
I'm
understand.
just telling you, in front of a judge, if there's public money that's gone into that account, it's an open records.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna have many bullets in my gun to try to defeat that if he sues us.
well, and that's where I was saying, if
I mean,
that's.
I know the way
Hold
that
on,
the
hold on.
account's been set up, it's been a gray area.
Yeah.
And it's one of those that honestly probably would go towards open records, and I agree with that.
Right.
But it's kind of a gray area, and it depends on the interpretation, but I just keep hearing OSBI's name.
That's why
Well,
I
it's
am
like-
saying,
And
if
as
CA,
somebody who's not in this, it almost sounds like, to me, if you were coming to, a normal person saying, oh, OSBI says this, and they're going, oh, shit, that's fact, but it's not.
Well, no, I don't disagree with
I think
that
it needs to be
statement.
stated clearly.
But I can also tell you that if I have to go in front of a judge, if whoever this person is does file a lawsuit, the money to, fight that lawsuit is gonna come out of the city coffers,
Yeah.
which is gonna affect all of
Oh,
you
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And we're probably not gonna win that lawsuit. So you're gonna be spending money on a losing lawsuit. And would it be better to do that, or would it be better to go ahead and give them the records now and save the money for everybody? And that's kind of what you're getting to.
Yeah,
Okay.
I understand that.
Okay.
that's why I'm saying, if CA feels that this is not subject to open records, we need a statement from CA, signed from CA, stating that he does not feel like it's subject to open records and why he feels that way.
Okay, I got something.
Okay, hold on. You had a question?
That's what I was asking, well, why don't we just give the records? If there's nothing to hide, just give the records, let's move on, let's move past this, let's move this town past this stuff, okay? We've been going through it, there's already been other things brought up today, it's just kind of snowballing, okay? And it's dragging.
It's tearing the town and the fire department.
Hold on,
For
James,
sure.
I'm talking right now.
That's all I'm saying.
But I'm just saying, it's just snowballing, okay? And now it's starting to affect people that don't even have anything to do with it. Innocent people that don't, just take care of your business, turn the records in, let's move on and continue as a community.
I would agree.
Turn them over, CA, turn them over, man.
This is what I'm gonna say.
Okay, hold on, I'm letting him finish and then I'll let you
I
talk.
understand.
Okay,
This is what I'm gonna say. You don't see any, auxiliary members out there doing control burns, right? We have no SOGs on how much we were gonna charge, if it was a donation, or if you're gonna charge them $500 or whatever. So when those people paid us, they donated money to the fire department, which then in turn, the fire department donated that money to the auxiliary. I mean, there's a fine line there between all of it. So it's donation. So there's no SOGs on anything, there's no stating how that money was supposed to be put in the town, because it's never been put in the town before.
I understand, and that's why we're trying to move forward.
Yeah, we can move forward from
that's-
this day forward, from today.
It's
Let
not
the
gonna
bank
stop the
accounts and go
lawsuit
forward
though,
from the
that's
bank.
all. Just get in the.
So
the
I'm
statement.
just gonna end the conversation and request, CA, that you get us a statement saying that you don't feel like it, however you wanna word it, just get us a statement. Is it possible to have that by, I don't know, Wednesday-ish, to be able to get that to the requester by close of business?
I have a question.
Yes.
If these people file the lawsuit, I think they will have the privilege, I'm not the attorney, we have a good one. I believe they'll subpoena those records and give them to the bank anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, that's ultimately what would happen in the end. is-
That's what.
If it does go to
Just
that.
rip the Band-Aid off.
We'll just, like he said, people will take town money.
Right, it's gonna happen one way or the other. If it
Okay,
goes
last
to law.
question here, go for it.
What difference is open record versus closed record?
Anything that has anything to do with public funds or governmental business, anything governmental
Taxpayer money.
is open record. So everything, every document that we have in front of us today is subject to open record. Any document that's in this office is subject to open record.
My
The fire,
emails, yeah,
the fire department, every document aside from personnel files are subject to open records. Or if it's a HIPAA protected, in like a medical call, something of that sort, those have to be omitted. Portions of them, it's still subject to open records, but any identifying factors have to be withdrawn.
Just random, what is John Hughes what is he gonna do with all this information?
I really don't know. Based on what, I have seen, is they are a public watchdog group that tries to find corruption in communities.
But if whatever corruption we got going on, it's already been investigated, is it a new point?
To some, yeah, it may feel that way, but at the end of the day, anything is subject to open records. If they want it, they can have it and use it for their pleasure.
So if they get it, we'll give them bank accounts, can we erase the account number?
Yes.
All the personal information, and they just have,
All the transactions.
and then it's just up to interpretation and what they do, and if they want to press charges against us, they can.
Ultimately, it would have to fall through an investigation of some sort.
Right.
It's up to get the.
You could go civil with
All
it.
that stuff.
You could go a civil suit, but
lawsuit.
I just don't understand if it's already being investigated, being OSBI.
at the time all of this was submitted, I don't believe that we had an active investigation.
It was not, this was April 18th, that was before we got.
All right, so
I just wanted clarification, so I wasn't clear on that.
I'm gonna move on and make a motion, that CA, provide us documentation as to why he will not provide those documents, by Wednesday of close of business.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Abstain.
And Shawna votes yes. Number 13, consideration, discussion, and action concerning memo to the Board of Trustees from Town Clerk Alyssa Harrison regarding the recent Glencoe Fire Department auxiliary embezzlement. I would say everybody should have that in their files.
Here, it should be in there. And that's just using operations. I'm just outlining what happened in the office and my part of it, because if we're gonna have a lawsuit filed against us, it's in black and white, how I was involved, so.
Do you have a chance to read through all that? Any questions? Well, no, this is timeline. Any questions, comments, concerns over that? So I'm going to make a motion that we acknowledge the memo to the Town Board of Trustees from Town Clerk Alyssa Harrison regarding the Glencoe Fire Department auxiliary investment.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yeah.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Abstain.
Shawna votes yes. Number 14, possible executive session to discuss the employment, hiring, firing, appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, or resignation of Glencoe Fire Department Fire Chief Carl Allen McAllister pursuant to Title 25 OS Section 307.B1. I'm going to make a motion that we enter into an executive session.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Abstain.
And Shawna votes yes. Did you fill out your form?
Who seconded that?
Huh?
You did you have your, did she get your form?
Over here. Hold on, I have copies already in my little file thing.
You want to fill this out, just your yearly evaluation. We'll be back in a second to grab it. Maybe more than a second.
I'm gonna stop the recording.
Can you do that?
When they're in executive session, they're gonna be back here.
He's actually pretty wild, finally. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are they?
I don't know, they say they're gonna. No, thank you. Yes, okay.
Yeah. We got it once in a million years ago. Yeah. Like I said, small town. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't enter it.
Yeah.
There's always another. The lady that we have a box.
Yeah. So that's the part.
Yeah.
So I just asked.
And that was $400 from park.
Yeah, 'cause it was that
That's the fuse box.
Oh, no, it was. I was wondering. A box outside. Are you going to turn this outside the house? You get your mail out. They don't really affect you.
No.
Yes. And this is actually a few times.
It was been,
Because we feel like we're not getting no money.
them surrounded.
Sorry, you're not covered, you hold through all of that.
That'd be very good.
Oh,
I'll get that.
As long as I get the bill.
There was only one letter for 190.
My mother was BMW, to BMW, and it was $4,800 for a battery. So I tried to get about 2 batteries in both programs, and I think we were also done. And they can see, when they hook up to their scanner, they can see that the PC is commanding it on.
Somebody had to eat first cookie, and then broke the dam. If no one else is gonna eat them, I'm gonna eat them.
It's on the side. It's not a lot.
Probably gone
No, that's not bad to change at all. No. There wasn't any on labor, I don't know how they're gonna vote in here. That's small farm for you. It's easy. Yeah.
And so, the next day, when it was the tape.
And the freight was like $90. Well, that's overnight, correct? Right, because you can know the standard ground for.
I was just shooting
You
stuff.
can
I don't
get
want
one for free, it's like 3 or 4 days each way.
Babe, pull up the cameras.
Your parents.
Watch my kids at home.
They
can't get away with nothing.
I want to put more cameras in. Well, we only have one in the dining room, but it's in the kitchen. I figure like if there's gonna be one inside, it's in the kitchen, so there's like cooking and everything.
Or renting your refrigerator.
She bought one of those little sleeves of tiny boxes of cereal. There's 2 of those. They opened it yesterday. There's 10 of them. I ate one. They ate 7 in a day. 7 little boxes of cereal in one day.
The one that I just bought?
Yeah, he said there's 2 left.
2 left.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I ate one of the frosted flakes and they're all gone.
Just have to get the big box.
I
We have so many cereals. It's like how many, I eat it dry.
The little boxes are fun.
Yeah, they are. It used to be $1 boxes.
Yes, that's true.
You can't do that anymore. You can't do that anymore.
Oh, they leak?
But no, they're just boxes in a bag. It used to be that special box that you could cut open through the middle. Yeah. I miss
Probably
those.
they figured out something else.
Not safe.
Not safe.
There's meatballs getting in.
I remember the first time I had some. She moved down my mom's house for a while. And there's these lumps in there.
Oh
You know, they do the lumps. But I said, my daughter, what is that? And she goes, well, that's people's, you need to go away, go. Right, she said, start keeping them all in the refrigerator, and they won't grow, and I'm like, they're in there?
Yeah,
And
they're
she's
all
like,
in
yeah,
there.
they just get too hot, you're about to shut stuff.
I forgot that they're already in here. I remember hearing that when I was a kid, and then it just came back to me when you said it, but yeah, they're already in here.
I went to go make rice for dinner last night.
Rice Eagles.
Rice.
Extra fruit, I don't know. It sounded right.
It's just, so my mom said, oh, I said, how are they in there? I got a lid on it. She said, oh, they're already in there. I'm like,
I'm gonna go watch a video.
I can't remember, so what are you supposed to do, get rid of them?
Yeah.
well, yeah, but I keep mine in the freezer.
That's where I put my phone.
Yeah.
Where am I supposed to put my rice? It's already in a sealed container.
I don't know
You
about
put the rice in the freezer too? You're in the
Everything
freezer?
Everything's supposed to be sold there.
I've sold tomatoes before, like these worms crawl up from the top, you know, they're like trying to survive in the water, and I'm like, oh my God.
I've done that with strawberries.
Yes.
The things we eat.
I know. Honestly, when I was bartending, there was a fly that would get somebody's shop, like even Terry, he'd be like, you know, and he didn't care, he just shoot it.
Oh my God.
Just testing. But they're not gonna waste
They're gonna waste that
$4.50, you know?
You wouldn't give them a free one if a fly landed in it?
No, it still costs us money for a shot. Yes, I would give them a free one. Chris Barnes. No, sometimes they'll see it before I do and they'll shoot it in. It's just disgusting. And I would try and stop them, but Terry once, he didn't care. Chris Barrows, notoriously.
I guess you drink the burn with it.
Oh, no.
So it's a fly in a shot of Canadian
Or
whatever.
whatever it is, yeah. Some people don't know.
You have your own funny videos, you didn't have to watch them.
Oh, it was always something. We were actually just cracking a joke last night. We were watching some show and the bartender was a mess and he goes, "That was you, huh?" I said, "No, I was like this, watching everybody." And he goes, "You were," when I walked through the door.
I started cracking up because I remember how many times I walked in with dinner and she'd just be sitting there listening to somebody ramble on.
It was always something to watch or listen to.
Now the family that lives in our old trailer, she's a bartender. And I was like, we're a small world, you know, how things just kind of repeat themselves.
Did you get all the answers that you needed to remind her about the cemeteries?
I did, and I'm gonna go write it down.
What's he doing there?
Well, Rob didn't get this work done?
I mean, you're not telling me anything. Your dad will need to know.
They can fix that job he did, the other day.
Huh?
They can fix the job he did, the other day. Send him a bunch of photos.
He said it'd be too much to do.
It's not gonna be a kick no
But you got to be as in the dock.
I seen it. I thought it was cool enough. Looks like a bat.
I'm asking you today, is there? I'm wait for a test. I figured.
I figured you just wanted to know.
They got me go around the
It's just a target. I'll give you your.
Right. So,
The model is one worker.
I got.
One there.
The service line, it's still out, the service line like that. You have to jump over temper gauge.
Especially about your money.
Exactly.
Yeah, they left it laying on, in the dirt.
Around nowhere,
Right
like
next
it's
to the
big.
driveway.
Yeah, there's air tires,
There's no electric
there's a couple low ones.
So you see why I pulled in the look.
Get some prices.
I'd like to pull
I measured those subs, they get regular 10 look. You show, you get like steel wheels for $180 each.
You gotta go to the
Which one?
most of it's on the, see, where you can go,
You get pretty good rest tires from the discount, right? It's still low too. Cause I buy a lot of trailer tires.
they didn't state contract prices there too.
I get my 45 trailer tires from them.
And it's what the rims purchase first, and then we tires come,
I can get those pretty easy.
not like that, really, they're split rims.
It's only change tire.
Way it is, nobody touches it.
My boat is just a chair.
Then you take that out on the call and get the flat tires and like fix it.
Still,
It would handle it a lot better too.
yeah, it's,
Them tires back there, they're not made for the weight of that tanker.
no, it doesn't want to walk in.
Okay, who's ready to train to talk?
Get to about 50, 55, that's a long road.
I'm not super good, I'm
So you
doing.
talk
Oh, yeah, it's about, you have to be driving.
Who are you trying to talk?
You have to pay attention to what you're doing at all times.
Okay.
It does stop
What
for
do you call your dog?
It does, that church really does, pretty much.
No.
It doesn't feel like it's gonna go,
Your
it's
dog.
going.
You call your daughter
It's just
something,
right
not
after
your
we're-
sister.
But yeah, it's just a 855 Cummins, not going over.
Yeah.
Let's work on getting some prices. We can go get this, get that.
I brought everything local.
Let's get some prices, so that, I'll give you that one, we'll do. Give us
Not order right away, pretty good price.
Like, seriously? Well, in this agreement? No? You can't? Unless you have access to water, you know, not pay, okay? I won't hassle you for the rest.
These days, kids are already counting my price.
They broke the price, they was sad. Start throwing it out. I'll be so glad when it's all right.
Break the business for a dollar. Costs $240. Yeah. 22 years.
It's good.
Then they want my price.
Yeah.
I know they have all that stuff. I mean, you can make brakes or that sort of thing.
Really?
Yeah, they have a whole fleet, everything, starters, alternators, everything.
That's another thing. They just not want, so I don't know if it's just
That's all the international.
adjustment or it's just one on the request to shoot.
Right. When you set the brake, it'll hold.
Not always spoken.
What is that?
I mean, it's not like.
Big, tall, like really pretty grass.
Mm-hmm.
They, the whole bunch out
Probably
where
where spring.
it's like a filler plant.
So where do
People
you
get
put
it.
it?
No idea.
You can just rock a bunch of grass
We're
on
supposed
me,
to
no.
very good training.
This is what I'm trying to
say.
What's wrong?
The brake pedal probably works fine.
So they were gonna make some really tall.
One side's probably. You should be able to see it near the brakes. It's flat, shoot forward.
That's 3,000 gallons. That's still 8,000 gallons. That's just nothing. Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah. Biggest thing we gotta do is get the trailer put back on. Because we pull that trailer before that truck bird comes up. It's not gonna let it get out. That's not how the guys feel like that's almost all the way out. That truck bird got to go in front of that trailer. We'll just take it out back. It's 350 pounds. That's how you get some. Yeah. We're going to put a lift in there anyway. Yeah, well, I just heard, geez, yeah. All you steps is fine behind you. Had to run all the way through. I'm wiring up that big tanker for.
Yeah, I'll deal with it first thing tomorrow.
I'm sure.
Do you still have the old phone with the old one? That's just the thing, I have an old iPhone. So if you need one.
Doesn't need to, there's no reason for that truck to
You
not
still
have
have to need it?
Our truck had to be locked out. We had that removed. You know.
Yes.
No, I have.
That's what it should be. Well, none of the lights and stuff are on there, those shouldn't be fixed. Yeah. But the master switch is on, when it hits 48 volts, the light controller is probably not on there. Really? Really?
You did say, oh, that's yours, okay, I never seen it. I'm that guy that sees one thing in the room that's been put in there. I usually say it without take it with me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I already I really like it. You're seeing it like that. What do you like? Relocate to the back of the room. My friend has a note in the wall, but whenever we were kids, we always had to go back and work slides and works and we were raised in our side. So I did all that. He's trained up resistance. He's
That's where it still is
out there, so it's supposed to be in on. That's what I mean, so, that was our lady here. Where we ran every day, there was a lot of, there's a lot of here out there.
He's got three
right now, he's got one back.
Yeah. We'll just go right in the head.
In and out, but, you know, sometimes it's on for a long time. So we come back and then
Yeah, the president of our lenders, all the wire guards, rollers, we bring down inside for the process. Do not follow. So I take the machine, bring those to training with this tank out of the truck. Because the rear touch it all up underneath. It was all. It took 5 to 10 hour days to do it. Because I work for a song shop. All of us are on this property.
Every one of them are, every one. The grounds included, they're all right. They must have done this guy.
Can't do that. I think I told them colors.
Yeah, I mean, every.
Yeah, they were just posting pictures of those.
It's hard to diagnose.
He said, what do you want to do? I said, just start pulling it up. What are you doing? That's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah, 100-foot rolls is like 1,200 colors.
Yeah.
I'm not chasing everybody there.
And he
I have a line tracer to the back wire, and then turn the box on, you can follow it.
No, it said, why not flush the tip now with tools? I don't know, I need to know. It said, why shouldn't you flush the tip down with tools?
Because I'm a phone
I
call.
was trying to get that in.
So I can tell you to do that, but I can't do any more than that. You got to be able to.
You got the numbers wrong.
We went through one of the articles that keeps going.
For the front of that? Yeah. That's the dog. There's like a truck with Palmer's. All. So I looked at that. And the soul on it, not really out. It's loose, and you just tackle each of those. Yeah, well, that tackle broke, all my split it out like that. Wow. If I ever do both, unless they're over, so you get the same thing. Fall off the road, do the driver.
It's coming soon. It's coming soon, though, I'm almost out of big news again. She told me last time, her mom and dad was coming, she said it's big news.
And typically, when they don't want to come out, because
So, I'm almost out, it's so low, I'm kind of getting nervous.
I find myself looking at me, and I'm like, oh, what are you now?
I've gotten off with the external to go inside, so we don't have to connection inside. You can bounce out. It's not as easy.
For like 12 years, every year, without missing.
I got ordered this. Calories. Yeah, front end. I like to work on. You posted a paper, doing the front end, I was like, they don't know it's going to be good.
This is probably 90% of the paper that
Yeah. How do you feel? Like the differential of the house?
I have full focus.
Yeah, that's fresh. Yeah, they're not awesome.
Yes. Oh, by the way.
Going to the past, Glencoe.
Did you do the CLC on that side? Shower, bathroom. So the new stuff, have a ramp. Yeah. That's why I asked you, didn't have wrong. Yeah, we still said, and then just list the council right now.
Oh, we paid it.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, if you pull that front left cover off. Pull that left cover off. You could at least inspect it.
We had a check engine.
Chips producer. As you go on the modern gold, you can see the video where it's all cheese and cheese sandwich. There's a lot of power.
Wires are. Just one.
You know, but a little bit
Of course, it didn't melt it like wire back. So whatever we made.
Right at the.
Plastic.
Right at the weather system. I keep a lot of those pins and stuff.
Yeah, I have some.
Is that like, weather packs out things? Square ones?
Yeah, I got all of it. I have somewhere. Like 3 or 4 years of just different style connections.
Have all the Deutsch style. Have all the correct rooms.
Well, maybe,
Maybe. Those pins are 26 cents.
so easy. Wires.
Is there any wire stuff out at all?
Yeah. Let's hear we talk about this. They try to last one, yeah.
Because you know that's how I was fighting for business wires. For pins. Connectors, you have to put them in.
It's like a years.
Both three.
So I wonder then, just by the time.
That has them already up. Pull one out. I don't replace connectors unless the actual doesn't have to be there. How come you abstain from everything else other than
I'm not sure. Maybe the attorney. Maybe she would not like that much.
Yeah, oil and
I
fuel
agree.
too.
Just
I mean, have oil and
eliminate the gray
Makes
areas,
lots
but for the rest of the areas.
That's great. Would you abstain or everything else to part of there? Yes.
So now she's starting to get ready. It was kind of like a lot.
The records that, the information that we gave to them, they didn't show anybody on Facebook. It's a short page.
Off my head when she walked down. I didn't know she did if she had to abstain from that executive session. Susan.
Never done something, metro buses.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it.
I just wanted her to make her, I didn't know what thought about that. If she couldn't answer, you know, ocean, possibly, there was all fire. Yeah, she worked at the station.
They're actually slow. Cause he didn't never get through. Birds are cold. So I don't have a shower. Right.
Oh, yeah, he said that she doesn't have to do that, because no, we have to no matter what. She didn't do that this time. Well, I think they'd be on public works, so.
Missed a spot.
I might be able to catch her in between meetings. Yeah, she did. Yeah.
No. I mean, you brought more light to it, though.
The Hayden's are giving you information.
Yeah, I said that everybody gave me fine. That's why I moved around.
They're deciding on consideration point a possible executive session to discuss hiring fires, appointment, promotion, negotiation, discipline, resignation, and welcome. Also, your fire department, fire chief, I bet you don't get any promotion.
Super cheap.
Okay, so.
Hey, James, you're online. You do karaoke?
You guys make me shut up. I can play some.
You make it love.
Yeah, my arm is in my car. There's someone who told me that all the time.
Is that a resume show? Is that a service?
Taxes.
What'd you start again? Any for your call?
Whoa, no change. Oh, no change. Want the shirt?
Yeah, we've been trying to hold off on what we're gonna do for. We can get rid of
I gotta
it.
get a credit card.
The hard part about this is, you know, I love.
I remember being in high school, you had
Said,
filed the edge of any of
we've got the audit first.
Always.
You go back by and see it.
No, he found herself on the audit. So it's. Guys said. I guess it's a little small, because we have, it's 2 or 3 of the auditors.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. And then you get chastised for not doing it. Because you're too busy trying to do everything you're.
That's intentional.
Never talk. been on there for so long, I don't even know what I would do.
There's so much time to wish to do.
Oh, I got the light.
I was wondering what you were
I did.
doing. You got the one in there? After we set it up?
I couldn't help it. Just give that one a second.
Yeah, you can set it right
I think all the ballasts.
I was sure for the next, found her in when I
We
went
put
to
LED
the
walls in them, and that's the ballasts. There's, I don't know, I mean, just get regular LED lights,
I didn't see it.
but then you don't have to have all that starter. You make it way better.
Yeah, well, the fluorescent lights for some reason.
Oh, Grandma's truck over there? Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah. Yeah, no, okay. Something about it's great.
Oh, you know, that.
Well,
Yeah.
it's locked up, melted. Something on the tires. Oh, no, the next line item is, you're talking about it right now. And then the next line item is consideration, discussion, and possible action concerning the hiring, firing, employment, promotion, or resignation. That's all out. So we'll find out. So and then they're gonna declare personnel records confidential. So John Q.
Oh, man. I was gonna ask you, you know, whatever. However, kids work. Oh, that's almost like people. Okay.
I don't know, I just remember you saying something, and I just seen the cost.
Right, and roll roll on the soccer. So anyways, Logan's like 2 foot tall. So she. She's pretty she was like always 9'7", just, you know, chasing the ball. Chicken, like after everything's done, you get holes in it. I don't think you can run 5 or 6 miles, it's good, like, you can't run out of I like it.
So I was like. Well, we appreciate it. Oh,
It's been exactly 2 weeks since I talked to you. Oh, has it? Just all this and stuff.
Hello. What are you talking about?
Yep.
Go by there, I always look to see your trucks there. I don't look to see your trucks.
When it's there and the white car's gone, then you took the white car. Yeah, but the June.
He's also.
Oh, they were supposed to get me.
They come walking up a drink, but I didn't.
That man has worked for.
instead of $3. Doesn't help me brush from there. Scrap, we're all over this. $2,500. I tried to borrow a lead, but yeah, the new owner got it. He said, like, well, we blew the motor up. So you can fix it with the credit. Yes, we just took some air out. There's a pilot. I don't think so. It's hard to see how big that truck actually is, but I mean, it's big. We wanted to get a steer too. Taller than 5 Yeah, that's right, that's very helpful. That's how old we were told. Oh, I mean, it's not more room to go up. I can put all four.
Yeah, that was fun. Well,
Make those cookies, and remain fresh.
Yeah, we got that in. Got her out, got her fixed. Did you really? Word.
Find your drink? Find your drink?
I did.
I needed it. Find already.
All right.
Your truck. What? Your truck. But.
Well, next guy. Hold on. Listen. Now, like 3 weeks or 2 weeks or 1 week, you don't know. I'll leave.
Is that what they like?
And speedometer and AC now. AC 5. That's not driving factor. So. Here's the roof out of it. And, speedometer.
Hopefully AC is just a computer issue.
Now, all musicians. Listen.
was great for me, great. I'm out in the old bird truck now. Are you guys alive?
Yeah, what a nice guy. What a nice guy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you don't make me.
Frank? Oh, man.
You didn't leave me that other one I wanted. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Probably smells less like cigarettes.
Stairs out that door.
All right, sorry for the long break, but we appreciate your patience.
We were waiting for you.
I was hoping y'all would feed us when we came out.
Who's
All
up?
that they said you'd already ordered.
We're hoping the room would be cleared out.
That ain't happening.
All right.
It kind of was, because you guys walked back out here.
So we'll just read this. Okay. Item 15, consideration, discussion, possible action concerning the employment, hiring, firing, appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, or resignation of Fire Chief Carl McAllister. There is no business to be taken on this one. Number 16, consideration, discussion, and possible action concerning adopting resolution number 8-2025, a resolution declaring personal records confidential. And this ultimately is just exactly what it says, keeping personnel records confidential.
Can you elaborate on that a little? Does that count for the fire department too?
I mean, I would assume so. I mean, I guess.
I was just curious, was that you, meaning just the town board or?
No, I mean, I would assume any town portion would fall underneath this.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And I mean,
that's gonna be like your payroll, any deductions, now payroll within general, like if you say Alyssa, hers is listed on our POs. It's not a breakdown of her pay, but it is her payroll.
Personal life.
Employee evaluations, payroll deductions, employee applications, any internal personnel investigations, examinations, all of that sort.
we have to say, basically, if someone asks us what our salary is, we have to state generally what our salary is. Same thing with any public employee, but we don't have to disclose what deductions are taken and that sort of thing, because that's a personal choice that she makes.
It's a state statute.
I know, I work for OSU, my stuff's out there.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion to adopt resolution 8-2025.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Shawna votes yes. Number 17, consideration, discussion concerning approving the updated records request form for the town of Glencoe.
It just mimics the Payne County clerks, which hers mimics the Attorney General's. More information to be provided, and it's a little bit more thorough about what we can provide and the direction we'll give you if we can't provide it.
So my suggestion, I think this is great and appreciate it very much. My suggestion moving forward, I know that you're pretty good about reaching out to the attorney. I'd send it to the attorney as soon as we get it. And then before we submit records, I know that that's typically protocol, but that way it's all reviewed. Any questions about the Open Record Act request? So I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the updated records request form for the town of Glencoe.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
And Shawna votes yes. 18, consideration, discussion, action, possible action concerning approving the combining of the Glencoe and Union Cemetery CD and establishing a municipal CD and the renewal of the municipal court and meter fund, all to be established with the bank offering the best interest rate.
Okay, so when the town took over the town cemeteries, there were two CDs. The Glencoe Cemetery was 19,000 original amount, no interest, and the Union was 17,000. So what we need to do is those are gonna come due 6/20, and we need to take 12.5% from each one of those to move those over into that new account that you approved us opening, the municipal cemetery care account, to satisfy state statute. And then we will combine what's left into one CD. So it's gonna be approximately $37,000 that we put into a CD. With that bank that gives us the best interest.
Right.
Any questions?
Sounds like a good idea.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
And Shawna votes yes. 19, consideration, discussion, possible action concerning approving the cemetery site price to be increased from $200 to $300, with $100 being deposited in the municipal cemetery care fund and $200 being deposited in the general fund under the TC budget.
So it's been 7 years since the town took the cemeteries over, and it's been 7 years since we increased the price. So it's 200 right now, with 50 going into the care, 150 goes into the general fund to be budgeted, coded for the town cemetery. So we're just wanting to increase it $100, and then we'll increase the amount that goes into that MCCF account by $50.
300 is still a very reasonable price for a
Yeah, it
cemetery
is.
plot.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve increasing the price from 200 to 300, and the $100 being deposited in the municipal care fund and 200 for the general fund and under the TC budget.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yeah.
Susan?
Yes.
Shawna votes yes. 20, consideration, discussion, and possible action concerning adopting ordinance number 4-2025, an ordinance amending section 19-6 of chapter 19 of the Glencoe Town Code to provide water rates, and section 19-29 of chapter 19 of the Glencoe Town Code to provide sewer rates, and declaring it an emergency. This will be the rates that we approved to increase our last meeting.
What rate is this?
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded that we approve ordinance number 4-2025. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Shawna votes yes. New business, anything that could not have been reasonably foreseen prior to posting. Hearing none, we will move on. 22, reports from officers and board members.
We had a little washout on the culvert down by Sue's house, and we probably need to go around and look at some other things too, brought to their attention yesterday. We were able to get ahead of that before we lost the culvert piece. So we got it repaired in for now. Hopefully the rain that's our lagoons inspection went well, despite what I think of them. He said it went well. He loves coming here. So everything's going good. Everything seems to be going good.
maybe it'll just start raining just a little bit, not a whole lot.
Hmm.
In a couple of weeks.
Right.
Any other? CA, do you want to give any fire department update?
Got a couple of trucks we've been working on, trying to get it back into shape. Got, two of them scheduled for going to shop for, recalls, one of them recalls, one of them's for front end alignment. You guys want their tails off, but we're rebuilding the front end. Definitely get it ready, get that in, get the front end lines, maybe it'll drive a little more pleasant and quit eating tires. That's all I got.
Alright. Nothing else, we will move to number 23.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded, all in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yeah.
Susan?
Yes.
Shauna votes yes. We're gonna move right on into the regular meeting of the Glencoe Public Works Authority, held at 9/11.
We're going to do the public hearing.
Oh, yeah. How long did we give for that? How long we just gave 5? No.
Just whatever time
Okay.
you need.
So I'm gonna open the public hearing for the fiscal year 26 of the Glencoe Public Works Authority budget. Any comments or questions from citizens of Glencoe concerning the proposed budget for the public works? All right, hearing none, we will go ahead and move into the regular meeting of the Glencoe Public Works Authority held at 9/11 on June 9th, 2025 at Glencoe Town Hall. Roll call. Terry.
Here.
Skip.
Here.
Susan. Here. Shauna is here. Shauna votes yes.
Already got a vote.
The consent agenda, approval of meeting minutes from the regular meeting held on May 12th, 2025, approval of the Public Works Authority purchase orders, approval of hiring April Adams CPA for the 25 GPWA audit. Any questions, comments, concerns?
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second it.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Shauna votes yes. Consideration, discussion, and possible action concerning items removed from the consent agenda. That's the new point. Number 5, public appearances, demonstrations, communications, or personal appearances. Anything on the agenda, or anything not on the agenda that anybody wants to talk about for public works? Hearing none, we'll move to 6, consideration, discussion, and possible action concerning approving the fiscal year 26 Glencoe Public Works Authority budget. Again, managed to zero that budget out. So I'm going to make a motion that we approve the fiscal year 26 Glencoe Public Works Authority budget.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Shauna votes yes. Number 7, consideration, discussion, and possible action concerning adopting resolution number 9-2025 for the Glencoe Public Works Authority budget for fiscal year 26 for the town of Glencoe. Good. I will make a motion to adopt resolution number 9-2025 for the Glencoe Public Works Authority budget for the fiscal year 26 for the town of Glencoe.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
John votes yes. Consideration, discussion, and possible action adopting ordinance number 4-2025 and ordinance amending section 19-6 of chapter 19 of the Glencoe Town Code to provide water rates and section 19-29 of chapter 19 of the Glencoe Town Code to provide sewer rates and declaring it an emergency.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the water rates.
All right, motion has been made and seconded to adopt ordinance number 4-2025 declaring it an emergency. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
And Shauna votes yes. Consideration, discussion, and possible action concerning approving the establishment and opening of a CD for sewer improvements with a bake offering of SCD rates.
Now, we don't have a loan payment coming out of it, so I figured we'd take a chunk of it and make money off of it, see.
So I will make a motion that we establish and open a CD for sewer improvements with the bank offering the best CD rate.
I'll say.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
And Shawna votes yes. Item 11, new business. Anything that was not foreseen prior to time posting. Hearing none, we'll move on to 11.
The motion we adjourn.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, Terry?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
And Shawna votes yes. Thank you guys for coming.
Oh, you're welcome.
Welcome to the second.
Yeah. I did.
Trying to